Okay, everyone, we are back at the top of the hour. I am back again. I'm going to look at more of the material design in Xaml stuff again tonight. And I apparently have set myself up. Sorry, I had my own Twitch stream open, and that was really disconcerting listening to myself talk. Yes, more Xaml. So I want to go through. I realized I introduced a bug by adding a feature. So let me get this guy going. That button. There we go. Let me show the bug off. So first of all, themes and related settings. So I want to show something over here. So themes. I think it's under color. Yeah. So in Windows 10, you can go through and choose, say, dark or light mode, right? What I did is I very somewhat conveniently went through and changed it. So you'll note that this normally launches in light mode, right? By default, it does that. And all of that is controlled from the app.xaml in this bundled theme. All right, so this guy here, and prior to a few days ago, your only choices here were light or dark. And if you tried to use inherit, because inherit is only expected to be used on lower level elements, not top level app resource dictionaries, inherit would just throw an exception and blow up. So that's not a good thing. But what I did is I changed it so that we can now use inherit on the top level resource dictionary. And if you set it to inherit, it will try and look up light or dark theme for your Windows settings. And if it's on Windows 7 or whatnot where it doesn't exist, it'll default back to light theme. So just be aware that exists. I also exposed out the API if somebody else wants to use it for something else. So you can call get system theme. And it'll kick back this enum here, and this is the inherit light dark enum. Nothing overly fancy, because all it's doing is going into the registry, hunting to see if the user has set up to use light theme or not. Right? Converts to a bool, and away we go. That's it. Not really fancy. I can't claim credit for this. The controls ex library had it, and by virtue of that, Ma apps had it, and I was jealous and wanted it. And since we have the nice pretty resource dictionaries, I figured, hey, let's allow inherit and have it go through. This is where the bugs begin. So if we go over to our palette, you'll note this little toggle button is set to light, not dark. And if I click it, it sets my theme dark, and then I have to click it again to go back to light. That's a bit of a problem, right? And so that you'll also note we've got a similar toggle up here, and now these toggles are out of sync and all of that. And so that was problematic to me. Though I really appreciate having these toggles, it's really nice if these things stay in sync. And part of the issue with why they weren't. So if we go and look, right? So let's just go over to like the palette.xaml, right? And that's not it. Palette selector. That looks better. So collapse this. Where is the there's a toggle button, right? So toggle base command. So there's the light, there's the dark text, right? And there's this toggle button, right? And this is the little switch going back and forth, right? From light to dark. And you'll note, I'm going to just move this down. Too long of a line, hard to read, time to collapse it. So you'll note this guy has a command and a command parameter. So every time he toggles, he'll pass in the state of the toggle into this command. But you'll note there's nothing going the other direction. There's no way for my view model to set the state of the toggle, right? And if we go into the palette selector view model, we could add a Boolean here, but prior to last night, there really wasn't a good way of querying whether I was in light or dark theme. And the reason this gets hard is because custom themes exist. And you can go through, because I'm going to cheat and go up here where I know I've already got some of the code written. So last night, I published the video like 10 minutes ago. So if anyone's interested. Last night, we looked at doing this get base theme, because if you want to create your own custom theme, all you have to do is call get theme, right? And then on the theme object, you can go through and set any of the brushes you want. Set them all. Try to be sane with your color choices, but pick anything you want. It's great. It's pretty. Make a pretty thing. And so what we looked at doing, right, there's a lot of brushes, but you can usually start from one of the built-in ones and just tweak as necessary. The one that we ran into is this one right here. Is we wanted a way to do is dark theme, right, or is light. Pick your favorite, right? But basically we wanted a way to query out whether our theme was light or dark. And the question comes of, if somebody changes one brush in the light theme or in the built-in light theme or the built-in dark theme, is it still a light theme or is it a dark theme? So what we ended up doing is saying, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to base the theme around its background color. So if you pick a dark color for your background, you are a dark theme. If you pick a light color for your background, you are a light theme. And so what this does is it grabs the background color and says, okay, give me the contrasting foreground color. So we've got this nice helper method available where it basically does a grayscale conversion, right? So this takes an RGB color, runs it through a fairly common grayscale algorithm to get a luminescence value, because grayscale is just one value from 0 to 255, or in this case 0 to 1, depends on which way you want to look at it, right? And then we arbitrarily have this threshold here that says, okay, if you're greater than this point, you are clearly a light color and the contrasting color will be black. And if you are not greater than this point, the contrasting color would be white. So effectively, what color to make the text on the screen appear, right? And so we go through here and we say, okay, if the foreground is black, then we must be in a light theme. Otherwise, we must be in a dark theme. Simple, right? That's sort of where we started. So, and I'm going to flip back. I'm going to kill the execution here. So I also noticed there was some issues with setting up the initial theme, because this initial light theme stuff had problems. So I'm going to bring this over. So this guy here, I believe, is also set to inherit. We'll just confirm. Yes, he's currently in the inherit state. And if we go over to the palette, because this is the Ma Apps one, you'll notice now this toggle actually has a setting so that it can go from light to dark. And everyone's happy. I did want to double check and make sure that this was working properly, because I noticed that there was a few cases where our code was clearly making assumptions that the root level theme would either be light or dark. That was not okay. So specifically, this guy here was having problems, and apparently we fixed it for the Ma Apps. Now, I do want to go through and make the same change, and actually I'm gonna pin you. I'm noticing there's a Xaml warning here. I cleaned up all of the ones in the material design library, but clearly didn't pick up. Oh, this one isn't mine. Dang it, I guess I can't fix that one. I was going to go through and chase all of the Xaml warnings and clean them up, but that's not in my library. I can't handle that. So what we are going to do is we are going to go and implement that toggle, and more importantly, I think what I want to do is use this as an opportunity to show how to do these toggles when the view model for each of these toggles is different, right? Because we effectively, what we have right now is we've got a situation where we actually have, I think, 3 toggles in this app. 3. Gotta raise my hand higher. 3 toggles for what is considered light and what is considered dark. So we've got one here, right, on the palette one. We've got one here up in the little drop down. And we've also got one on the color tool. So I've got 3 toggles, and I want them all to stay in sync based on my theme. That's what we're going to build. That's where I'm going. At least that's my game plan. We'll see how badly I botch it as we go. But I've got Mountain Dew. Should have gotten a cold Mountain Dew. That was a mistake. Okay, so let's pick on the easy one first, right? So down in the palette selector view model, this guy right where we left off. So we are going to shamelessly steal the code from the view model that I just closed. right? So right in our constructor, we're going to just query out the theme. So whenever the palette selector view is open, this guy gets, this is the view model for it. So we're going to do this, and I'm just going to, while I'm in here, we've been editing the editor config, and I've been slowly just updating code as I find it. And IntelliCode has been, yes, IntelliCode, you are awesome. Thank you for figuring out what I want to do. You are being absolutely amazing, IntelliCode. The fact that it only takes it a couple times of watching me do something to figure out what I want and then just doing it, oh, awesome. So for people who are unfamiliar with this, let's see. Is it in preview features? I can't remember if it's still in preview. So I don't even have the preview features for IntelliCode turned on, but I am running the latest Visual Studio. Ooh, I kind of want to turn these on because IntelliCode has been making my life happy. Let's see, IntelliCode. Boom. This is what you want turned on right in here. And you'll note I just have defaults. The only thing is this show light bulb when suggestion is discovered. So as IntelliCode figures out something that I want, I get a little light bulb saying, ooh, 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 I know. And most of the time it's right. So we go, thank you, IntelliCode, and let it write code for me. It's a little scary because it does feel like it is trying to work me out of a job, but that's okay. If it can do my job better than me, I can focus on more complicated thinking. Okay, and I think this guy here, so this, so first of all, we aren't even implementing iNotify property change, so iNotify property changed, which is what the interface that you need for all of your view models where you want to have a bindable property. Great. Auto implement interface for me. Please don't put the interface declaration there. And go up at the top. Great. And I believe this project has a helper method. Something like show me extension methods. Mutate verbose. That's what it is. Right? And I believe, so let me look at this guy real quick. So he does the equality comparison for me. He'll set the backing field, raise the property, and then return a bool depending on whether he changed it or not. I think we can just do that because that is unused, which is kind of funny when I think about it. Yeah. Okay. So let's see. So this becomes, I already forgot my parameters. Show me my what is the, no, show me the signature. So ref backing field is dark theme, new value, and then raise property changed, which I believe should just be this guy. I'm trying to remember, what is the signature on this guy? So he wants an action that takes in the args. So this is actually going to be E. Right, something like that. Property changed. Okay. Find all references. Show me a usage of this guy. Raise property changed. Oh, this args. Right. Got it. Okay, and so what we really want to do is if this guy returns true, meaning the backing field was changed, we want to change our theme. All right, so something akin to that. Okay, so let's make sure at least our palette selector is now loading appropriately. It also bothers me that I'm seeing this guy is white. That should not be happening. Something is wrong. Let's see. palette helper. That seems not right. So theme, get base theme. So this guy pulls the theme, backing color. This dark theme goes to true. Oh, but I didn't, okay, so I set it up in the view model and didn't bind it to anything. That is a problem. So let's fix that. So this toggle button. So rather than having these commands and command parameters, what we're just going to do is checked. Is checked. Wow, spelling's hard tonight. Let's see. Binding is dark theme. I think that's what we called it. Is dark theme. Great. So now we don't need the command. And I believe that means that apply base command is likely unused. Just going to check that real quick. Yeah. So that guy's unused, which means apply base is unused. Oh wait, no it's not. Apply base is still invoked from right there. Okay. So I'm kind of wondering if I get rid of that and just go with something more like inline it, right? Because I don't know if there's a lot of benefit to that method. There we go. Okay, so now at least one of the checkboxes should work, or one of the toggle buttons. I do want to come back to why the heck my snack bar. Hey, look at that. Dark, light, dark. Okay. So now the next one we're going to do is that pop up in the top right. Let's go and find that because I think he might live on main window. What are you squawking about? Placement mode is not recognized? What? That is interesting to me. I think that is a misleading error. So, let's see. This is the left drawer content, so it's not that. This is the color zone with the pop-up box. And this is the toggle. So this guy here, dark mode toggle button. And he is done in code behind with a click handler. So this guy's a little different. Let's see. Sure, IntelliCode, you can help me clean up my code. Huh? What are you suggesting? Set data object. Why are you suggesting that? Why are you suggesting that this doesn't throw? No, this can throw exceptions, IntelliCode. Bad. No, I do not wish to do that. Seriously? You are suggesting that I... No. Clipboard set data object can throw exceptions. Not gonna listen to you there. I'm sorry. Okay. So on the click, it comes in here. Let's see, what is it doing? It grabs the check state, and equals true isn't really necessary. Right? And if it's checked, it goes dark. If it's not checked, it goes light. Oh, equals true is necessary because that's a nullable. Okay. And then it just does the usual theme guy here. So I think what we want to do, maybe we should go back over here and actually handle it here first. So I believe, is it palette helper? So what I really want to call is there's a theme helper. Get theme, set theme. So what is it? Get theme manager. Yeah, this guy. Get theme manager. This is what we want. That's the guy. Collapse those down real quick for me. So get theme manager lets you query out this, but I'm thinking I want access to this in more places. This is not an overly useful place to have it, because it's primarily used by our top level guys, but I'm thinking my palette helper should probably expose it. Like, palette helper is pretty clean at this point. So public, I'm almost wondering if I go static. Kind of curious why these guys aren't static. Oh, I bet you I know why. Because the MAApps one wants to override them. Got it. We'll do the same thing. Public virtual I theme manager, get theme manager. All right. So we are going to go down here cannot, let's just clean this. Boom, boom, boom. Cannot get theme manager. Use resource dictionary extensions. Get theme manager on the appropriate resource dictionary instead. So, because ultimately what we're going to do is just expose this up. Get theme manager. Right? Just as a simplistic little helper. Down here, what we'll do is var theme manager. It's helper get theme manager. How about let's do some pattern matching. So if it's null. So for those people who haven't seen it before, this is C#8 pattern matching. And this is the empty object pattern, so it will match any non-null value. So, and more importantly, it'll match any non-null value, and if it's not null, it'll assign it into this local. So then inside of here, we can use theme manager with confidence. More importantly, this guy has a theme changed, so we are just going to grab a hold of that guy and do why are you not hinting to me? Event handler theme changed to event args. So ignore that. I'm just going to register this guy up. Now you want to be careful doing this, because this delegate is going to get held onto, and because this delegate is going to be referencing this view model, this guy is effectively a singleton, and so you're going to keep this view model alive for the life of your application. For this demo app, that's fine, because this view model lives once for the life of the application anyway. Be aware that this is not necessarily a universal pattern, right? So I'm trying to think. Let's see. Let's go here. New theme. Get base theme equals. How about this? Because I don't want to necessarily assume that it's being set to something useful. So once again, can I? No, is right. So if there's a base theme, is dark theme gets Base theme equals base theme dark. I'm not entirely sure if this really matters because I could always do this equality directly. Yeah, I mean, I guess the null case, like, if somebody manages to like go in and set the theme directly to null, we've got other major problems, right? So the key part here is this should now, we should be able to see our toggle on at least the palette selector page update as the theme changes. So we'll see this work. This guy here, right? So he's dark, still dark, light. Oh, boo! Huh? Did it not recompile? Am I missing something? Do I like have this thing set up to not, I'll check in a minute, to not recompile on build or something stupid? Let's see. No, it is set to build everything. The current source is different. I'm confused as to why it seems like this guy's not rebuilding. Rebuild, please. What the heck? Why you no rebuild my code? Rebuild. Okay, rebuild successful. Thank you. What the heck? I'm going to just restart Visual Studio. I don't quite know what's going on. Oh, that is not the one I wanted. That's the one I want. Kill that one, please. Something is not right. Treat. Okay. You happy now, Visual Studio? Are you going to rebuild like you were supposed to? Pretty please? Okay. Let's see. Let's read this. To allow this breakpoint to be hit, hover over the breakpoint, click Settings, button that appears, then click Location. No, see, the source should not be different. Why do you think they are different? I am very, very confused why you think the source code is different. Rebuild, is it like getting confused and launching the wrong one? Is that, because it does target two different frameworks, right? Like that is a thing. just hypothetical. We're gonna whack this real quick and see if the multi-targeting is causing confusion. Okay, so now we got to debug what the heck is going on. Come on. Let's see. This is diagnostic tools. What is the tool called? Modules. That's the magic sauce that I'm looking for. Okay. Sure. TVM. Material design. Symbols loaded. So where did you load the symbols from? Bin debug. Net Core App 3.1 PDB. That looks good to me. That looks just fine. I'm tempted to just go open container folder, right? We're just gonna go in here and just start. Oh, no, not restart, not restart, not what I wanted. Not what I wanted. Where'd that window go? Just gonna whack both of these real quick. Then rebuild. What is going on? Debugging is not supposed to be a hard operation. Oh. Okay, so all that time wasted. You'll note this is in the Ma Apps demo project, not all this time, and I'm looking at it's because I've got two things with the same name. Let's try this again. So both of these projects have a palette selector view model. One of them happened to be the one that we wanted. So let's try this one more time. So if we do dark, right, and then that's what we want. That's what we want. And when we click dark, it goes over. Woot woot. We are toggling. We are a toggling. Okay, so we want to effectively do this same type of code in main window.cs, right? Because this guy down here, let's see, we don't need this here, do we? Nope. So we're gonna do this, right? So it's not gonna be is dark theme isn't what we're setting. What we're gonna do down here is this guy. This guy is what's gonna get set. So he's gonna get his toggle, and then that's on a click operation, so I don't think this is gonna work down here. But what we can do is modify theme. I don't know if we need, I think we can just change this, right? Because ultimately it's going to be the same check, right? So it's going to be come down here. Let's see, set base theme, and rather than taking in an action, I think what we're going to do is just take in a bool is dark theme, right? And so we're just going to toggle dark and light theme like that. And this is just going to become modify theme, and he's just going to pass in the bool, and everyone gets to be happy. So then up above, what we're going to do is This guy really doesn't need to actually set the theme when the theme changes. He just needs to set himself. All right, so we're going to do that. So now we should be able to see the opposite occur. Toggle it in the palette helper and see the drop-down menu update. Okay, so you'll note this guy is currently in dark, which is correct. Palette, dark, dark. I toggle you to light, and it works. It works. Toggle you to dark, and you're dark. And now the last one we have to do is the color tool, because it still is wrong. So let's deal with that. Okay, so where is color tools? Color tool view model. Let's see, so apply base is almost assuredly, I bet you it actually has almost identical code. Because I think it was initially based on palette selector. So we're gonna borrow some of this code down here. And so let's see, we don't need this, we don't need this. Because we've already got the theme object here. This guy is a field, and so we probably just need to check the Xaml, and I imagine it's probably using a command just like the other one was. If we come down here, toggle button, yeah, so basically the exact same thing as what the other one was doing, right? So it's got a command that's passing a value, but it's got no way to receive the data. So we'll go is checked, binding is dark theme. Boom. Do that. That way there's now two-way communication. I guess we can flatten that guy up. Let's see. Color tool view model. I'm just going to steal from the palette selector again. Grab this guy. Let's see. Collapse. Where should you go? Where should you go? Looks like this could use a little organization, but it seems like about there. Let's see here. Apply base is the underlying method. How about apply base and just pass value? It looks like it's going to do the work. Wait. Color tool view model does not contain a definition for mutate verbose, but there is an extension method for it. Thanks. So now the color tool should work too. And then we'll go and look and see why we're getting issues on the other one. There. Okay, so color tool. They're set to dark. If I toggle you to light, it switches. Vice versa. Woot woot. Okay. Demo apps are now updating. So before I get too carried away, let's just go through and commit those changes. So stage all. Let's just take a quick look. View model change. That's not a big deal. I'll come back to you in a minute. Palette helper. So we added in an API on the palette helper to expose theme manager in a little more friendly manner, which is great. Maybe other people will need that. Cleaned up that. Changed from using two commands. I'm sorry, that is really tiny, isn't it? There we go. So we changed from command to command parameter to a straight binding on is checked, which is what we want. Added a new backing property. It calls apply base. We register up for the theme manager for the theme changed event. Again, be aware that these delegates on this event handler are implicitly referencing this dot is theme manager, so this delegate contains a reference to the view model. So, and because theme manager lives at your application, it will keep this view model alive. It will not be garbage collected. So do not do this on a view model that you expect to go away. or more accurately, make sure you unregister the event so that garbage collection can clean it up if appropriate. So in the main window, we do the same thing. Little cleanup on some of those. Looks good. That I don't think is necessary. So discard changes, reset file. That I think we determined was my own stupidity and the fact that I can't read. So the same change there, same change there, all the way through. Great. So demo apps now properly update toggles as themes change. Added API to lit helper to expose theme manager. Great. Okay, so I want to take one quick look specifically at that snack bar because the fact that it showed up with the wrong theme color concerns me. I just want to double check because there was a couple changes that I merged around this that also had to do with the snack bar, and I just want to see, well, is the snack bar supposed to be dark or light? Maybe I'm crazy and the snack bar is supposed to be, okay, snack bar, yeah, aside from the fact that our theme color looks, our accent color looks horrible. Yeah, so aside from that, I guess it's working as designed. I am thinking that in the interest of this being a little more readable, we should pick a better accent color. So let's just do one of the built-in palettes. Maybe accent light blue. It's just this is really hard to see. I'm thinking something a little softer. I suppose we could try lime and see how lime looks. So let's see if that's a little easier to read. Yeah, the issue I see here is not necessarily around anything other than dark mode, and this guy does not stand out well. Yeah, light, accent, mid. I mean, you can always, so in your own app, you can, as you can see here, you can clearly set the colors of what you want. Just looks a little weird. Okay, I'm happy with it. So we are going to push this, and we'll GitHub it, boom, 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 and then we will go through and maybe clean up a few things. So fixed demo apps so they properly show the correct theme toggle state. This is especially important when the theme is inherited from Windows. Boom. Added API to palette helper. To make it easier to access iTheme Manager. Boom. So let's see, labels on this guy. This is demo app related and kind of an enhancement. That's a pretty small API change. So we're going to do that. 3.2 milestone, create pull request, and we will make sure all of the tests pass. Okay, let's see. Have there been any? I thought I merged this one already. Oh, no, there was one question I had on it, and it looks like it may be been addressed. That's right, there was a switch on here that was using checkbox, and I thought it was supposed to be toggle button. Again, stream from last night out on the YouTubes. if anybody is interested to what I am referring to there. Let's see here. So keep going down, 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 down. Down, down, yes. So this has now been switched to toggle button. Excellent, 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 excellent. So review changes, approve. Just bounce back over to here. Show resolved. Yep, so that was easy change, hide resolve, bump it into the milestone, and squash merge, and let that guy go in. Sweet. More pull requests, more merging. More merging. Those guys are toggled. Okay, trying to decide where to go next. I'm thinking, well, let's take a look at this one, because this is one I asked for details the other night, and here is the Xaml. So what do we got here? I'm going to pop open, I've got my, it's not open yet. Do I not have it cloned? Sorry, one moment. I do have it cloned, so why isn't, clearly it's not even in my list of recents. Boy, that's pretty bad. My own sample out is not in my list of recents. Okay, so you are behind a little bit. Pull on up. So I did go through, I have a sample repo where, I'll just drop a link to this, where I keep just a long list of examples. Usually it comes from when people ask questions, and sometimes it's code speaks a lot better than me trying to type it out and explain it. Oh, this link is dead, isn't it? Oh, it forwards appropriately, but that's the wrong link. Let's update this real quick, because this is back before it save, because this is just pointed back to the main repo. So a whole bunch of little sample projects and examples, and there's no real rhyme or reason to any of them other than somebody asked a question at one point and I thought, that would make a fun example, and so I did it. So if people actually have questions, I didn't even notice this one in here. Closing for now, unless there are further issues. Okay, so if people have questions, comments, there's something you want to see, feel free to open an issue against this repo. I'm more than happy to build up examples of anything that people find interesting. I also tend to use it a lot as a simple test bed for doing stuff like this. Ba-ba-bum. I was also interested in potentially doing a .NET new project template for material design. I don't know if people would find that handy or not. I would use it a lot for this example repo because I tend to build a ton of these things. But I don't know if that is something that other people would find helpful. So let's pull this guy up. And away we go. Come on. It's apparently set to open on my other window. So this one I suspect, so there is a scroll viewer which contains a list view, right? And I'm a little curious as to the reason for this. But let's see, we'll close some of these down. Close all documents. That's generally a, let's do list view, grid view colors. Sure, this will work. I just need something to work with. And you look like the perfect demo app. Okay, so we are going to grab this code and just kind of dump it in and see what's going on. So generally nesting multiple scrollable views inside of each other is a bad idea, just for reference. It does tend to cause problems. So yeah, we're just going to do that. And then I'm going to just kill off the entire resource dictionary up to here and call that good. Okay, so set a startup project. I should have probably verified I was in a building state, but we're just going to go see what happens. Okay, so it thinks it's going to go. So we've got a scroll view. There is a reference to the primary hue mid brush, but let's see. So we've got an item source of stuff, right? So I kind of want to go back over here and look at, because I have an item source too, but the item source I was using is just people, right? So let's do that. So item source binding people objects. Let's see, this is just doing a mouse over. I'm wondering if this style is potentially problematic because it appears to be killing off the base style, but we will see. Let's see, so data template. So these are clearly causing it to get confused. So let's go text block, height gets 300, min width gets 100, right? Just to ensure that there's something inside of this expander. This expander has a grid in its header. Let's see. Material design, I think, was my namespace. Yep. Paste there. Paste there. It's still squawking. What are you unhappy about? Horizontal alignment. It's going hunting for a content presenter. That's probably okay. Grid row 1 isn't overly valuable. Did we properly close everything? So don't need window resources, grid, scroll viewer, list view. Start. See what happens. Line 31, position 39. Cannot find resource. Active foreground brush. 31, huh? Active foreground brush. I think I'm just going to delete this and let, well, no, we'll change it up to use the material design body brush. See if that makes any difference. A little curious as to why the designer seems so unhappy. Okay, so we've got this. Let me put a background on this so I can see it. Let's see. Marcus, I have a problem with, let's see, Padrinho of material design outline text field text box. When I set a bigger font size, the letters don't show. Okay. Give me 1 second and we'll pull that up and take a look. Because that should be, I don't know of any reason why that should fail. It could just be that we've got something bad in our template that is not scaling appropriately. Generally, that's what I would imagine. So the short version is when we go to scroll, this guy no scrolly. Okay, so we can reproduce this issue. I'm going to circle back to this and let's go take a look at Marcus's question first. And let's see. So let's see. So material design, outline, text field, text box. So I think what I'm going to do real quick is pull request. Oh, it failed. Well, that's not a good thing. I'll have to go look at why it failed. But let's jump over to the demo and down onto the fields. Boom. So we've got this guy here. And let's see here. This is a text area. Oh, don't worry about that, Marcus. I am more than happy to help. I assume that let me just check. I assume here, I'll type this. Does that make sense? I assume that word is padding or spacing or thickness, I'm guessing is the word we're looking for there. But let's take this guy here, because what you said is a bigger font size. So let's font size, I don't know, 32. We'll make it big and obvious, right? And we'll take a look and see what this guy does. Okay, so fields. So there's a couple things going on here that are obvious. So there's an outstanding bug for the hint. So Marcos, are you using any sort of hint with like the hint assist class as part of this or not? Because let's see here. When I said bigger, the letters don't show. So the other thing that it could be, Marcos, if the container that's containing your text box isn't allowed to expand in size, that could do it as well, right? So if this guy here had, say, a max height set on him of 25, you end up with something that, oh, that's way too tiny. Let's be bigger. 50. Right? You can see this guy starts to quickly get cut off because it doesn't know how to handle the sizing. So that could be something as well, right? So if you're inside of, let's go a little bigger. The text is not centered in the field. Text is not centered. Do you have a do you mean vertically not centered in the field? Because that's somewhat by design, because that's how the text box. So vertical content alignment gets center, right? So now it ends up getting centered. Does that make sense? So you can control whether the by default on a text box, the text is going to float to the top of it. But that's only because of the default for vertical content alignment defaults to top, right? So if we change, so that guy's now floats at the top. If you want it centered or even bottom, right, you can go through and change this. Pay attention to whether it's vertical content alignment or vertical alignment, because this affects the position of the text. Vertical alignment changes the position of the text box itself. So, and then this guy ends up floating to the bottom. I am noticing that there's a little bit of a bug here in that vertical content alignment, I would still expect this hint to go to the line, and it's not. That's probably a bug. So that probably needs to get addressed. I'm guessing most people who are changing their vertical alignment probably aren't using this particular style. But so don't know entirely why the text isn't showing up, but I would suspect that the height of the text box might not be big enough to allow it, or the container might be cutting it off. So whatever thing the text box is inside of, whether that be a stack panel, a grid, a dock panel, etc. Something in there is what I would probably tell you to look at. Something else that's worth showing too. So if you're not familiar with it, one of my favorite tools for WPF is Snoop. And I will grab let's see, Snoop, WPF. If we go to the GitHub, it is, here is the link for where that is. You can go to the releases and just download the latest stable released. But what you can do is you can take these little crosshairs that are next to the binoculars, click and drag over the top of your app, and then when you let up, it'll open up this window that you can then use to inspect all of the elements in your application. But more importantly, if you put your mouse cursor over the element you want and hold down Control and Shift at the same time, it'll automatically jump all the way down the visual tree straight to the, in this case, the text box right here. And you can start inspecting the properties on this guy to see what might be cutting off your text. The other thing you can do is you can just start manipulating stuff. So any property that you can normally set in your Xaml, you can come over here and say font size, right? And rather than just editing it in your Xaml, you can just start editing it right here and change it and see the change happen. So I find this tool to be incredibly helpful diagnosing problems like that. So if that helps. If your project's open source and you want to drop a link to it, I'm also happy to take a look at it that way as well and see what might be cutting off the text box. Or if you've got a XAML example as well, that's always helpful. Okay, so I'll leave that there for the moment, just in case we need to circle back to that. So let me know if that works for you, Marcos, or if not. And I'm happy to go and dive deeper into it, but I might need more information about your setup to know more. Okay, so we have this guy. Okay, so let's fire this back up. So ultimately the bug reported is that the mouse wheel, you can't see it, but I'm scrolling up and down and nothing is happening. So the question is, why is nothing happening? And I have a couple hunches. So first hunch, I want to know if it's the expander that's grabbing this, right? Which it's not. So I think this is probably, so the expander has nothing to do with it. I think we can conclude that. I think the issue is this guy has a scroll bar and this list view isn't going to let the mouse is hit test visible false, right? And now I can scroll up and down. The problem is now that it's not hit test visible, it's not able to accept mouse input, which is kind of a problem. I'm a little interested in what I'm not so okay, so looking at this, I am not sure what the value is of this being a list view. My gut says to be items control, right? I'm gonna have to stop debugging for this. So if we do this and go back to a normal items control, we can do this, we can do this. This isn't gonna work. I'll look at it with Snoop. I don't remember the type of this off the top of my head. It might just be a content presenter. Style list view item cannot be applied to type content presenter. Hey, look at that. It is a content presenter. Boom, boom, boom. Paste. Because it's worth noting, when you do a style like this, it will just blindly override everything. Let's see. What is your problem now? Cannot find property background. That's not a big deal to me. In fact, this might not be it seems like what's desirable here border thickness. Let's just get rid of this items container style. Because I'm not entirely sure why the list view is being used. That is not clear to me. Because now I have my... So this guy works, but my expander clicky... Oh, you probably still are hit test visible false. So allow hit testing. Alright, so now I can expand, and more importantly, I can scroll. Yeah, so the problem is that the list view itself inside of this guy is inside of a scroll viewer, controls are allowed to grow, right? Because a scroll view has effectively infinite up and down space. And so the list view itself doesn't show its scroll bar because it's able to allocate enough space so it doesn't need it. Well, the scroll viewer realizes that its container is big, and so it does show a scroll viewer. I don't understand. It seems like for this bug, the issue is either this needs to be an items control and not a list view, or there needs to be, or the scroll viewer isn't adding a lot of value, right? Because the list viewer has a built-in scroll bar. So one of the two things probably needs to change, I suspect. Let's see here. So I think that's the answer that we need. We're going to jump back here. Let's see. It looks like the issue is with the list view inside of the scroll viewer. Because the scroll viewer allows list view to grow in size infinitely. I can't spell, which makes it harder. It doesn't show its own scroll bar, which it normally would. However, it still captures the mouse wheel events, and those don't propagate to the scroll viewer. Okay. It doesn't work when the mouse is on with the expanders. Let's see. However, when I try to scroll up or down in the list with my mouse wheel, it doesn't work when the mouse is on one of the expanders. The scroll wheel works when my mouse is not on the items. Right, and that sort of makes sense. Because the expanders are effectively filling up all of the space of the list view. So it's not that the mouse is on the expanders, it's that the mouse is on the list view, and this list view just happens to be showing a whole bunch of expanders. Right? Let's see here. Typically, you not put a list view inside of a scroll viewer, or if you don't need this, or you should use an items control instead of the list view. I think we're going to go with that. So this guy switches from details needed to question because he provided the information necessary. But I don't think there's a solution in this library that we're going to be able to do. So I think what we might do, see, it's 10 o'clock. So there was a desire, let me see if I can go and grab it. There's a bunch of people that have asked for, let's see. Got a couple of notifications here. Great. I appreciate when people go and test things out. Let's see. I'm going to close this one out. This is a fairly old issue. And since I don't know what milestone or commit fixed it. I'm just going to trust that it's fixed. Let's see here. So that's fixed. That's fixed. And I think this guy here is also fixed. Let's see. So this is boom. So this is fixed as well. I'm going to, because I know which one this went into, I'm going to close it there. Close that out. So the one I was going to look at is there's been a lot of requests for an outline combo box. I was thinking this might be a fun one to build. It looks simple. It seems straightforward. Kind of feel like building it. So let's finish out this guy here real quick and see why this failed. Let's see. .NET failed. Okay. So give me some more information. Unit tests. Oh. Did I break some unit tests when I did this? Test run. Let's see here. Am I missing something? This seems like it claims to have exited, but failed. Test run aborted. Let's see. Unable to find test host DLL. This looks like a case where it just needs to get kicked. So real quick, I get to sign in real fast, and I think we'll just kick this thing off one more time. Actually, the easiest thing to do is just go back to our toolkit. All right, we've got a demo here. Discard changes, discard changes. Let's just rebase onto master, and then see where that gets me, because that'll require a force push, and that'll kick off a new build. Because there should be no reason that guy is broken. Though I am curious to take a look at and understand what the confirm that it was mine that did it. Theme fixes. So it does appear that I may have broken it. So we're going to reload, and I'm just going to rerun the unit test locally and see what we see. Okay. Kick these off. So it's worth noting too. I don't know if a lot of people caught it, but I did make a rename to the solution file. So previously it was called Material Design Toolkit WPF SLN, and it appears through fault of my own, I have accidentally created both this solution filter, and the full solution. So this solution file is going away. The expectation is this guy will load up everything, the full solution, including UI tests and the whole 9 yards. But if that is not what you want, and you want something closer to this guy, there is a solution filter that will get you just the stuff that was originally in the WPF solution. This is test not run. What happened there? What did I do? Did we have a, because there was a rev of the X unit, and I'm wondering if that caused a problem. So let's take a look, because this is specifically around the .NET Core 3 tests are failing, but the net framework ones aren't? That seems not right. Okay. Head scratches a little bit. Let's see here. So if we net framework tests clearly have no problem running. Where is my output window? Show me output window. Show me the test explorer. Okay, so it has no problem running those. Now the exact same set of tests, I find it interesting that there's a different count. It's in the converters. Something is different. Expanded direction converter test. 15.3. Wait, what? So test bin debug netcore app test host. I'm sorry, what? Unable to find test host DLL. Please publish your test project and retry. This sounds like there is an issue with the XUnit runner. What is going on here? So give me that, and we will Google with Bing real quick. Stack Overflow, first one, great. So what is the answer? XUnit with netcore and switching to netcore 2.1 solve the problem. Net test SDK. So that is interesting, and I am willing to try it. Let's see, manage NuGet packages. Let's see, so make yourself test, because it would not surprise me to find out that I needed to rev up one of the packages. Oh. Well, just hypothetically, let's see if that does it. Because Netcore Platform 3.1, that's kind of the problem that we're running into. Wonder if that is the source of my problems. So I'm kind of curious what I did to break this, because clearly prior runs were working. So what all was in here that did it? This packet lock is what interests me. See, I did notice it got rid of these ones. That's probably not a good thing. I'm wondering if it's because no projects directly asked for the .NET Test SDK, so it stripped it out. We might need to go back and redo this. That would seem to be the cause of my problems, because all I wanted to do was update my apps. Okay, go ahead. Come on, keep running your tests. Show me some net core tests. Yeah, so I'm gonna blame. I'm thinking I'm about to blame some of these other ones that are clearly problematic. So one, I think that needs to go like that. Let's see, who is using data extensions? I'm curious what that needs to be used for. Show me your references to that. Yeah, so I'm thinking you don't matter anymore. Okay, so that goes like that. That goes like that. That seems fine. So the bigger issue I see is things like Microsoft.NET Test SDK. So let's do NuGet, Microsoft. See, I think I had it on my clipboard, right? Boom. And in this case, what is the version we want? So you come here. Let's see, NuGet.org. And let's go with 16.6.1. So 16.6.1. And then I think what we need to do is down here, we need to separate and declare which one uses which. I'm trying to remember the syntax for that. And I believe inside of this project, that's not quite what it is. So we're gonna test on the colors one because I want to confirm that. Nope. That goes there, and then where's my terminal? Yeah, because this, I still have the command up. Packet update, and it was probably packet restore is what I should have been going for, but be curious what this ends up doing because I'm highly suspicious that this is the problem. Let's see. System data. Let's see. So that is in this guy. I want to know what this is used for because I frankly don't see. I don't see any using statements referencing that namespace, which makes me suspect that whatever we were using that NuGet package for has long since been lost. Colors WPF. We just keep going, just keep going, just keep going. So Packet can be incredibly nice for being able to manage a lot of stuff. Though NuGet.org, they've gone through and put in centralized package management, which is really kind of cool. So I'm sort of hoping the only thing we're really using Packet for that can't be managed by the new NuGet stuff is effectively file linking in a couple things from the Control-ZX library. And I'm somewhat torn on what to do, right? It would be nice to avoid having to take a dependency on a library that we don't really need. It would also save on some people running into namespace collisions, which you can disambiguate. It's just a pain in the neck. And you really only run into these problems. Let's see, dataset extensions. Oh my word. I should just go through all of these, shouldn't I? And just whack it. Let's see, packet reference. Let me guess. You're going to have it. Just going to assume you all have that package in you. Do that, do that. Okay, did I get them all yet? Come on. Main demo. Forgot one. The one that I had selected too. Okay, dataset extensions. Go again. Go again. What? Colors WPF test. Did I not do that one? Well, apparently I didn't make all the edits. Okay, this should be hopefully close to the last one. I'm hoping. Really hoping. Really, really hoping. Huzzah. Okay, so hopefully some of these guys show increased dependency counts. Some extra packages, probably lots of confusions. Great. So in the interest of MS Build not hating me completely, I'm just going to relaunch. Usually you shouldn't need to do this, but my experience is because packet has to operate inside of the MS Build process, occasionally it gets very confused when the target's files that it's referencing just get jerked out from under it, which is pretty much what happens. Okay, so we're going to compile and verify that this still works. Close all tabs. While that's running, I'm sort of curious what the packet lock file looks like now. So it put back all of the testing stuff. So we took that guy out. So I suspect that will probably fix some of our problems. And net core platforms go up. So the big benefit of packet, right, is when I want to rev a NuGet package, I have a single place where I make that change, and then it propagates out everywhere. So easy. So they all compile. So I don't know what that dataset extension is being used for. I'm going to go with probably nothing. Let's test unit tests and verify that all of those pass. And I think the last thing we're going to do is whack that solution file, because it really should be using the solution filter, not the old solution. I thought I had deleted it in a prior pull request, but apparently it snuck back in. Must have forgotten to completely delete it and just started using the other one and didn't realize it was still there. Come on, buddy. Show me some green circles. Show me some green circles. It does still bother me that I'm seeing different test counts between .NET Core and .NET Framework for the exact same unit test project. I need to track that guy down. Oh, hello. We're actually running some tests now. I will note there's a sizable difference. Okay, so where is the difference here? 118. So it's in the converters. Expander direction converter tests. This has 4, this has 15. Floating hint has 3, 5, 5. So it's these tests. Oh, interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whereas I'm willing to bet. Oh, interesting. So depending on whether you're on .NET Core or not, apparently the unit test runner has an easier time figuring out whether it's going to display each individual data-driven test or if it's going to display one. Hence the difference in counts. Okay then. Well, at least all those tests are running, so let's go delete that solution file. Not that one. That one is still definitely being used. I think I have to close this because I think this is actually the one that I have open. Boom. So if you want to open it, this is the one you click on, right? Visual 2 2019 preview, please. And that should fire it up. Okay, so let's see. Fixing NuGet references, moving old solution file. Boom, boom, boom. Push that up. Let's see how that will probably run a little smoother. Okay, do we still have time to go through and do that outline combo box? Probably not, but we can at least start on it. So let's go back to master, I think. Well, we'll stay on this branch just in case there's any issues. I want to see this pull request merge. Close that, and we're going to jump back over here. This guy hopefully kicks off a build. Show me a check. Come on, come on. There are checks. There's the check. Okay, outline combo box. So a couple things about the combo box just looking at this, right? So obviously there is an outline. It needs to have the equivalent of our floating hint. The hint should be down here unless the drop down is open or an item is selected. So we're going to have to do some fancy hint stuff. The drop down is displayed below the combo box, so what usually we would call classic mode in this library. Just pop the docs open and see what else I notice. Let's see, drop down menu. These are, yeah, not overly specific. Yeah, I was looking more interested. These guys. So, but he lacks the outline. I'm looking for one of these guys that actually has the outline around it. Border. This one here. This is the picture that we showed. Yeah, so inactive, activated, inactive, populated. Okay, that seems fine, that seems fine. Outline drop-down menu. Outline text field, it displays the currently selected menu item above the menu. So the menu drops down. Boom, boom, boom. For outline, all corners of the menu have a 4 dots per inch corner radius. Okay, seems simple. There's the spec that I'm looking for. So inactive, hover. Trying to tell if there's any difference between inactive and hover. Doesn't look like it. The focused visual, something we haven't done a lot in this library, is clearly darker border. Okay, well let's take a look at what we've got and where we're going to start. So combo box. Let's start there. Yeah, so here's the focus visual. This clearly does not line up with spec. We might just start fixing these. Right? Like this library is always in a constant state of trying to come into alignment with the specification because the specification occasionally changes. So it is somewhat a moving target and we do try our best. So let's see here. So there's that. I'm looking for the root level style. Which should be material design combo box. So this is the control template. So here's the root level style. So material design combo box, whole bunch of stuff. I think, okay. I'm almost tempted to abandon, not completely what's here, but most of what's here, and favor what's over in the text box template and build off of that. Because this really is going to be a brand new style. Might end up needing to go that way. Let's look. Let's see, text box. Let's see here. So I want outline text box. Let's see, filled outline. So this guy just leverages a couple attached properties. I don't think we're going to do that for Combobox. I think we want to trigger it with the extra style and not just have one big one. Which also makes me really question that. Okay, so let's start here. Grab this whole, oy vey, there's a little bit there. So we're going to go above it, I think, just given the proximity of the other ones. Let's see, paste and go up to the top of this guy and rename it. So material design outline combo box template. So collapse that, collapse that. We're going to do a style for it. Actually, I think what we're going to do is we're going to start with this. So we're going to do style X key. I think I'm going to just still this guy. Alright, and we're going to go here, and rather than filled, we're going to do outline based on static resource material design combo box, and we'll just start overriding some stuff. So first and most obvious one, setter property template, right? Because this guy down here, or I'm sorry, is it control template? Boy, I really got to start ordering these things alphabetically. Let's see here. So no, it's template. So we want to do this guy, but we want to swap out for our let's see. We want to use this one. Boom, and this guy has a floating hint one. Maybe this would be a better one to start from. I'm thinking this guy's probably a better one to start from because he already has the floating hint stuff set up. So we're going to just switch what we did a moment ago, paste that in, grab this key, go, copy the key, delete this, go up here, all the way to the top, paste. Okay, so we have that. We have the control template. I'm going to move this style down now that I realize there's a couple more styles below here. And he can go here. And then let's go, in the interest of testing this, we'll go straight to the demo app and we'll drop one into the combo box page. Let's see here. So what do we got? Combo boxes. Raise button. Are we using raise button in here? This guy appears to have some errors. So let's clean some of these up real quick while we're in here. So resource dictionary, and we're going to put all of you guys in here. So by default in WPF, the resources collection has an implicit resource dictionary, so you don't need to always declare this, except in the case where you want to specify merge dictionaries, which is what we want to do. Let's see, merge dictionaries. Boom. So specifically I'm seeing that this is referencing material design headline output, which means I want to grab, boy, I thought I addressed all of these weird errors, and maybe I just added one, so we may check this, because there's no reason that there should be these. But this guy should be text block, and that gets rid of this, right? So now there's an explicit reference to it. So it works at runtime because the root dictionary will bring stuff in, but it means the designer can't figure this out. So these ones down here interest me. Raise button, which makes me wonder if that's coming from here. Static. Let's see. Cannot resolve. That is dumb, and I disagree with that. Let's see. Well, there are a lot of just weird ones in here tonight. So I'm really curious about this one. So the Combobox one, do you have a problem in use somewhere? I don't see it there. Is there raised? It's not directly in there. So why cannot find resource material design raise button? It's not in here, which makes me suspect that it's the Xaml display, which is getting its style from in here. Defaults. Okay, let's just chase the bug that I know rather than the one that I can't see. I don't see the bug. We'll just wait and see what crops up here in a moment. Error list. What? Oh, this guy, because it doesn't know the target type, which is Combobox. So that will make a difference. That will probably help clean up some of those. Maybe not these, but it'll clean up some of these. At least the one over here. Secondary accent brush. Is that the name of it? Something tells me I theme. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is leftover from some of our old ones. Find all references. Secondary accent brush. So it does exist. Yeah, so this is secondary hue mid brush. So that's what that really should be using. So we're going to update that so that it actually has the newer one. And that's nice that you're no longer blowing up with lots of squiggles. Okay, let's, what do you mean output library? Oh. Set a startup project, please. Fire up the demo. This may be where I end up calling it for now. I'll check in what I've got, and yeah, so I'm thinking below filled combo boxes we want to drop in one more. If we go down to the bottom, yeah, I'm thinking we want to do something like this, where we do outline combo box, let's see, Xaml display. Why do we have, I think that's too much. I think I want to reduce what's actually inside of here, right? So I don't want this Xaml display wrapping everything. I think I just want it just here, right? Just there. So just the combo box, please. Let's see, stop debugging so we can format document, because apparently, come on. Oh, that did format, okay. Let's see here, so this guy here, checkbox, material design, outline, and I'm going to bounce you over there. Clear. What is the clear button good for? I don't think we need that. I think we're just going to do this, and I think we're going to copy paste. I don't know that we need a name on this guy just yet. And I think, let's see, we'll just name this guy, because these keys on these Xaml displays just need to be unique. And let's just look at that. Now, obviously, I don't expect it to display correctly, right? Like, we just copied the other template, so I expect it to look like the other template. But we will. I expect it to disable. I expect this to show me just the items there, which is what we got. It'd be nice if this thing, I guess having it go white isn't a big deal. I was just thinking about theming up that Avalon display for it. This guy here did have an indent. I've killed that indent on the checkbox, which means it was coming from this. Why do you have an indent? What is giving this the extra space? Why does it not fill all the way across? Let's see here. Column definitions. So this really doesn't need a grid at all, right? And let's see, the checkbox has a right margin. Wait, left, top, right, bottom. Okay, bottom margin. All right, so that's there, but I don't understand what this space is here. Why it's getting pushed over. Is there something about the template? The pop-up box I don't care about. Border. Like this shows an adorn or border around the item, right? So when you click this, you'll note you get the green display showing you what is being encompassed, right? Whereas this one shows the green border around this. All right, so that's very much by design. But the question then is, what does that? Why is it indenting? Is there some sort of implicit margin that I'm not aware of? Where's Snoop? Let's just take a look. Why is there space there, Snoop? Please tell me. Show me what I would like to know. No, dive me in. Okay, so there's that. Let's see, back me up. Let's see, that's the checkbox. Xaml display. You are offset. So do you have an implicit margin set? Margin. Look at that, 16, 16. Where did you get a 16 from? Is that coming from in here somewhere that I'm unaware of? Is that coming from the combo boxes? Is there something in here that set up a theme? Oh, look at that. Margin 16, 0. So that's where that's coming from. And I assume it's just in there to indent these guys, which is probably okay. I don't mind that. But it does mean that I need to replicate it here. So I just want to push you over so that now that's in line, right? I think I'm going to throw just a hair of a top margin on that, another 2 or something. Give or take a little bit, just to put a little space between it and the top. There, that'll at least get it going. Okay, perfect. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stash this, check back on my pull request, which now it's working, great. Squash merge, squash merge. We can delete that branch, and this guy here now is going to be 1 commit behind on master, so pull, poof, bring it up. We're going to switch to master, pop our changes, and then create a new branch. I'll just do it over here. So create branch here, outline, combo box. All right, so we'll add a new one. Just starting work for an outline combo box. Something like that. Commit. We will push this up. So if anybody wants to take a crack at doing taking a shot at this, just be aware, all I've literally done is create the template. I've made 0 changes to it, so it is very much up for grabs if anybody wants to help out with it. I always appreciate all of the pull requests from everybody. I do think what I'm going to do is list this on the issue so anyone tracking it can keep an eye on it. Just barely got started on this. Branch is here. If anyone wants to help out, let's put the link in because all that is done so far is to create a new template copied from the existing one. Still need to actually create the outline stuff for it. Boom. There. So if people want to follow along, or if anybody wants to take a crack at working on it, feel free to submit a pull request. Happily willing to take a look at it, but if no one gets to it, I will certainly keep poking at this. If I get time during the week, I may take a shot at it and see what happens. Who knows? Father's Day's coming up. Maybe I'll get a chance to work on it then. No promises. I might be doing family stuff. We'll see. So I think with that, I'm probably going to call it for the night. And I will tell everybody thank you for coming and hanging out. Again, if people have questions, things where they're hoping to see code examples or short videos, let me know. Happy to go through and do those and put those together. With that, I think I'm going to say happy coding and good night.